Well, good afternoon. It's noon already on Saturday, and cannot believe that, but here we are. It is noontime. Goodness gracious. News 19 meteorologist Tim Miller, and welcome. Glad you're here. Let's get to our forecast and anything that's changing, any little tweaks, we're going to pass it along to you. We are on every 30 minutes with the very latest until this storm is done. However long that takes, doesn't matter, storm. We got you. So let's talk about this. Our ice storm warning. I was telling Whitney just a few minutes ago, this is something to take a picture of because and frame it, because we very seldom have an ice storm warning. I mean, goodness, this is a rarity for us, so we could save it, and then 30 years later from now, we could show, hey, remember that ice storm warning in 2025? All right, here we are. So that means all counties shaded in purple, which is not only basically our entire viewing area, except our southern viewing area, but it's also for all counties up towards Greenville, Spartanburg, the upstate, even towards the PD. Does not include parts of the Grand Strand, where it is, at this point, a winter weather advisory. You'll notice, though, not a winter weather advisory along the immediate coast. Georgetown, McClellanville, down maybe even down to Charleston. Right along the coast, it's warmer. You go about 20 miles inland, all bets are off at that point. Then it gets obviously colder. What does this mean exactly for our friends in Orangeburg and Clarendon County? This means that you're certainly going to have an opportunity of freezing rain, just not as much. Maybe a little sleet, just not as much. It'll be more rain than anything else. But don't let your guard down. Don't think, well, okay, I'm only going to get a little bit of ice. Nope. Hundredths of an inch of ice can cause many, many problems. Somebody sent me a picture a few years ago of a little tree branch with ice on it. I'm going to post that on my Facebook site. Give you an idea of what ice can do and how much it weighs. We just don't realize that, and that's really the big issue. Current temperature 43 degrees in Columbia, 46 in Orangeburg. Actually, it's going up a little bit, temperature in Orangeburg. Camden 39, Newberry at 37. So temperatures, frankly, I think are the highest they're going to go. We were at 44 about 2 o'clock this morning in Columbia, so we're 43. We're slowly going down. We're not going to get into the 50s at all today. Here's one of the reasons: we have a northeast wind. That northeast wind, look at that, 15 miles per hour to Camden. Why is that important? Because that's the wedge that is setting up. So this northeast wind of ours with the wedge and the overriding moisture, that's going to be the problem, and temperatures will start to fall. Now, right now, there's no way on earth we can get any winter weather precipitation, not with these temperatures. Clouds, yep, we got them, plenty of them all over the place. Notice that we have a little bit of rain, sleet, snow north of Atlanta suburbs, also near Athens. As it tries to make its way across the Savannah River, then towards the upstate, it sort of dissipates. The reason being, for now, is that the air is fairly dry. So we have to have what we call a column of air from the surface to aloft to be moist. And when that happens, that's when we can start to get precipitation. But that whole column of air has got to get moist first. And that's what we're trying to do here. So until then, which is going to be a while, I think we're going to remain dry for much of the afternoon until the early evening. Here's the storm center in parts over Houston. I want to go, and this is a big deal. This is a big storm. And you can tell it's a big storm by a couple of things. One, the severe weather. So this is I-10. There's Lake Charles, Louisiana here. Baton Rouge is here. There's New Orleans. These are thunderstorms, and pretty potent thunderstorms as well. There's a severe thunderstorm risk in parts of Louisiana and Texas. Then you go north of this front, and you have winter weather. So for you to have winter weather here, let's see, where are we here? There's Dallas. Trying to think of Shreveport, Louisiana is right here, right? So you've got Shreveport, and then you've got Lake Charles, Louisiana here in the warm sector. And the possibility of severe thunderstorms, you just go up a country mile or so into Shreveport and you've got freezing rain. Why is that a big deal? Because there's a great example of the power of this storm, the difference in temperature, the difference in the atmosphere, right? You've got this warm, humid air mass, the juice that's needed to feed this thing, and you've got all the colder air. So all this is a perfect example. Now, by the way, all this is headed where? Northeast. So it's headed right towards us. That gives us the opportunity, of course, to deal with what's going to be headed our way. And that northeast wind of ours, the wedge in place, assures that we'll have colder air in place just in time for the moisture. So just give you an idea how big that storm is and powerful it is, the difference that we're talking about. And then you go further towards the north, there's the snow from Nashville, south of Louisville, near Paducah, Kentucky. There's Memphis, just north of Huntsville. We have a bit of rain, sleet, snow, and all that is moving towards the east. So let's get you your forecast. I'm going to take you hour by hour what we can expect. All right. So I also want you to realize when you see this, I know people get full of anxiety and all this. They go to stores and, people are sold out of bread, milk, and everything else. Let's just get you, we're going to bring the temperature down as far as the anxiety is concerned, right? Here's 6 o'clock tonight. So we moved it up to 6 o'clock, brand new information. And this forecast starts at 6. Notice it's dry at this point. So we'll put things rolling here now. Here's 7, 8. By 8 o'clock, we start to see a little bit of rain start to move in. There's our freezing rain. By this point, the atmosphere, remember I talked about that column of air, is getting pretty moist at this point. So now it's able to produce some rain, even some freezing rain to the north. This may be a little overdone here with the warmer air with the rain. So this actually may be freezing rain, even though it says rain. Notice by midnight, it sags further towards the south very quickly. So that makes me think, the wedge is in place. The model's not counting the wedge here. It certainly does by midnight and 1 o'clock with that northeast wind. There's our ice. And then notice we go through the time here, and the timeline means hours upon hours of freezing rain, freezing drizzle, and it just piles on top of one another. This is why we talk about the weight of ice, such as on power lines, trees. I mean, that's what makes them snap, is the weight. I mean, sometimes, you can imagine if a bird lands on a power line. Have you ever seen that in the power line shakes? Imagine what 500 pounds of ice can do, right? That's a big bird. So here we are, Sunday morning, 5 a.m. We have some rain showers. Notice, Clarendon County, Manning, you've got showers, but northern part of the county, you've got a little bit of freezing rain. So again, it's all based on temperature. Temperature is everything with us. That's why I know these systems are very frustrating, because you'd like to know a definitive forecast. Say, Tim, tell me exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to. I wish we could. But everything's based on temperature, and I mean that too. Just a few degrees will make the difference between whether we have rain, freezing rain, sleet, or snow. Just a few degrees. And remember, I'm going to pause it here just a minute so I can pontificate here for just a minute to tell you a little bit about weather. Weather is like, we talk about what the weather is. Weather isn't really what's happening at the surface. That's the after effect. Weather is what's happening upstairs, above us, in the atmosphere. That's where, you're talking 2,000 up to about 50,000 feet, because we can have storms that go up to 50,000 feet. That's a big, expansive layer. That's where the weather happens. That's where it's made, and that it's served to us on the ground. So that's what we talk about. We talk about temperatures, different layers of different heights of the atmosphere can have different temperatures. Such as at 10,000 feet. We're here at the surface, it could be 32 degrees. Maybe you go 5,000 feet, maybe it's 38, 40 degrees. And then you go up to 18,000 feet, and maybe it's 8 degrees, right? So when you have something that falls, like an ice crystal, it can melt, and then when it gets down to the ground, it can refreeze. So again, temperature means everything when it comes to a forecast. So the thinking is, while looking at this snapshot here, this is 5 o'clock Sunday morning, we are at freezing here. Where the green is, you're not at freezing. You're at 34, 35, 36 degrees conceivably, maybe a little warmer, but to the point to where you're not going to receive freezing rain. It's just rain at this point. Now, let's move on here. Here's 6, 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. Notice we got this little dry slot here. Not 100% sold on that because the wedge is still in place. All right, because we still have that northeast wind. These models really just don't account for the wedge sometimes. By the time we get to 10, 11 o'clock and closer to noon, now I'm sort of agreement with this. We have a little bit warmer air. This turns to rain. Notice the freezing rain just sort of exits towards the north. This is why the upstate, I think, has a better opportunity of some freezing rain that could be pretty serious with some ice accumulations in Greenville, Spartanburg, Clemson, Cherokee County, up to York County, towards Charlotte. Could be some issues there. This is noon on Sunday. This now becomes rain for us. It also has the opportunity of some sleet. Now, sleet is little ice pellets that fall from the sky and they bounce. Don't worry about sleet. I'm not worried about sleet. You can walk on sleet. You can drive on sleet. It can be a little slippery, but not nearly as bad as ice is. Here comes this big swath of yellow here. What is that? That could be one, heavy rain. It also could be sleet. Little sleet that moves in. This is now Sunday at 9 o'clock. Notice we continue with this, but we're done with the freezing rain. I think certainly Sunday evening, late Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Freezing rain's done. We're dealing with rain, and we're dealing with the possibility of sleet. So here we are into Monday morning, and because of this and the temperature, I don't think any of this is going to freeze on the roads, so I'm not really worried about it, just that it will be wet and it will be a little slippery. There's no doubt about that. I think some of these schools that have canceled or doing e-learning, thumbs up. I think it's probably a smart move because it will still be slippery out, no doubt. And we will have ice that have built up to the point to where we could have some power outages, right? So that still would be an issue, of course. And maybe some trees down. It maybe take a while for county workers to be able to get the trees out of the roadway. 8 o'clock in the morning, see ya. It's done. We're just dealing with some clouds. Could be a flurry or two on the backside of this. Wouldn't surprise me. Nothing really to write home about, though. How much ice are we talking about? The models keep trending down the ice for us, which is great. However, right at the moment, before we lower these ice totals, we're going to keep it like this for the time being. Let's see how this fleshes out here a little bit. Chevy will have more this afternoon when more data comes in. He might want to tweak them. Right now, I'm going to keep it like this because, again, I don't think the models are taking this wedge into effect. But be that as it may, 1/4 inch or less, still done less. That's why we have our ice storm warning in effect. Notice a little less in our southern viewing area. Still, though, a little bit of ice can cause a lot of problems. Further towards the north, Newberry, Fairfield County, and then counties further towards the north, that's where we'll have a little bit more accumulating ice where there could be some issues. So here's how it pans out. Really any time after 6 tonight. I could say 7 or 8, but I'm going to just keep it at 6, even though we may be dry at 6. Let's just know that 6 o'clock, we'll call that the rule of thumb, from 6 to 6, Monday morning. All right, so this takes us into tonight, all the way through Saturday night, all the way until about 6 a.m. Monday morning by the time everything's said and done. Periods of rain, they'll come and go. Periods of freezing rain and sleet. There's our ice totals. Again, this would probably be southern Midlands. This would be central Midlands, and then through the northern part of our viewing area, a little bit more. Travel hazards, yeah, you bet. There certainly will be some travel issues, especially some of these back roads that some of the county officials and DOT have maybe haven't had a chance to pre-treat yet. I know they've been pre-treating the road since Wednesday. They've really been on top of this. Power outages, yes, there will be power outages. There's just no doubt about it. How widespread, we don't really know at this point. Will it be a massive power outage throughout the entire state and it be something hellacious? Don't think that's going to be the case, but certainly some power outages will be there. So be prepared for that, for where they may be. Trees will be down, limbs will be down, especially trees that are brittle anyway are going to have a hard time. Any type of that weight will just cause a tree to break. So if you're able to maybe trim some trees around the house so you don't have to worry about that, I would do that at least this afternoon if you all can. Do it safely too. 7-day forecast. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. These are our alert days. Notice Tuesday's at 15 degrees. That adds another little problem because 15 degrees, that's Columbia. I think that some of our colder locations could see a 10, maybe a 9. Yikes, that's really cold even for us. That's off the chain cold. That's not even wind chill, that's actual temperature. If we get that way, if it gets down to that low, we could actually have some pipes that start to burst. That's when we worry about pipes. So now we've got this mess going on, and we may have to worry about some pipes on Tuesday. So be prepared for that. Make sure you wrap your pipes. Faucets outside, make sure you put one of those little faucet protectors. If you don't have one of those, just wrap it up in some socks, maybe some old t-shirts, wrap some duct tape around the thing. I mean, you've got to improvise with these things, right? Use what you got. No, then we're in the 20s and teens again by Friday. I think Friday is going to be another cold day. 18, it's 42 maybe pushing it. And then people keep asking me, Tim, what about next weekend? I see there's something else coming our way. Let's not even talk about next weekend. Let's get through this first, right? Let's get through this, and then we'll worry about next weekend because I promise you things will change. As they change with any winter type of situation, it'll change for next weekend too. In the meantime, after this is done, we just have to worry about some chilly temperatures. All right, that's the very latest. We're back again at the half hour for the very latest. We'll see you then.